So that's why I want to try to introduce this loving kindness if you practice in your relationship, your family, your business, school teachers, between children and teachers. I think it's a teacher's very tough job to maintaining like a 30, 40 kids, isn't it? Not so easy job. So, but anyway, you have to listen to everybody to feel that, and responsibility is quite tough. But anyway, you need a lot of patience to be take care of them. It's very important. So that's the first skill method to practice compassion, loving kindness is one method. That it's not necessary to create. That's already you got it anyway. You practice and not practice. Actually, compassion is born with you. Loving kindness is also born with you. It's you don't need to create. It's already there. But if you want to do it or not. And but as the Buddha himself taught 2,500 years ago, it's called Siddhartha. So he also is in enlightenment. He's doing meditation 6 years. After 6 years, and he attained enlightenment, and then under the Bodhi trees, then he discovered everlasting happiness, as we call enlightenment. So then after that, he liked to teach, share his wisdom, but no one understood. And the Buddha himself got a little disappointed. He said, okay, no one understands me. Then he was quite silent in meditation in a deer park. So then after that, request again from the God realm and also human realm both. So please teach you or share your wisdom. So then he started begin to teach. So the first will of Dharma, he taught Four Noble Truth. Four Noble Truth. So based on Four Noble Truth, the first Noble Truth is, he said, the first introduction is saying recognize the suffering, recognize suffering. And the second one is to recognize the cause of suffering. So then the third one to define the recognized path for the enlightenment. And then the fourth one is saying liberations. So that's the fourth point he taught. Based on the fourth point, the first point is saying, you must recognize suffering. Just the first chapter of that recognize suffering itself is that there's many different stages of Buddhism. Everybody understood the different way. So Hinayana, Mahayana, Vajrayana, and the Dzogchen, there's a kind of different capacity of the mentality of the disciples of Buddha. So they understood the differently. One teaching, but different people understand different way. Because according to their mentality, different capacities. So the Hinayana students, disciples understood suffering suffering is a physical suffering. Yes, we got elbow pain, knee pain, joint pain, back pain, headache, stomach, whatever. We have all sort of pain, physical pain. That is we call physical pain. And then plus, and we got a mental pain. We're saying, oh, I got a headache, I don't want to get a headache. So you got mental stress, that's another mental pain. So we made more pain. Physical pain plus mental pain, so make more pain. so both we need to recognize is where it come from these pains, where it come from those sufferings. To recognize first suffering itself, the physical pain, and then the cause of the pain. So this is very important. Yes, when you have a problem with the back, it's quite painful, isn't it? Painful. But if you really focus, if you focus what is really pain, and if you focus on the pain, what is really pain is. But yes, we said, I can feel my pain, and I believe, I've decided, I guarantee, I believe this is the pain. So it means actually our mind, decision making, say, yes, I got I got this pain. And that's why now I'm experiencing pain. But it's interesting, sometimes when you sleep, when you have a good, terrible dream, some tigers chasing or lions chasing, you got an incredible dream. So sometimes you wake up from this bad nightmare dream. So you're sweating, or sometimes you can jump from the bed to the floor by dream. And when you wake up, say, oh, this is just a dream. So until you wake up, you don't realize you're into that experience of dream. So once you wake up from the dream, you say, yeah, that's just a dream. But when you wake up, you can sometimes feel you're sweating also, because you believe it so seriously, because within that period of dream. That's why we are also in this period of time, we believing it life, but also kind of dream. So we are kind of dreaming all this experience, all this different experience of human dream. We have a four major suffering. We call Keva is birth, Gava, old age, Nava, sickness, Shiva is death. It's the four main suffering of human dreams. We are going through that experience, isn't it? But anyway, but that's another subject of very basic Buddhism. But if you come up with Vajrayana, Dzogchen view, what is really suffering is, to recognize suffering means the suffering itself is, level of mind. So it means what is really suffering? It's illusion. That the suffering is normal suffering. So and that's the very interesting subject when you look at that point, from the Dzogchen point of view. So in that case, I think it's very interesting that even the bodhicitta level is a kind of upgrade the bodhicitta view. Because so far, our bodhicitta, relatively, we say someone is suffering, you can feel their pain, and you feel also physically you feel very sorry, and mentally you feel very kind of, lot of feeling about you don't want someone to suffer. But, then if you go to higher level of the Dzogchen view, they say, okay, I don't want to get confused. Actually, they are not suffering anymore, but they're just believing within that suffering within the illusions. So therefore, what is really suffering is not to recognize. Not to recognize is a suffering, is illusions. That's why the believing suffering is the suffering, that is the problems. So that's why I think it's important, the method for that, what we need to do is from the Dzogchen point of view, we give you a method to rest the mind. We call it rest the mind. So mind can get distracted positively or negatively. Positively, compassion, loving, care, all these good things, but still distracted. Negatively, anger, jealousy, not so good. But better prefer not to get distracted, better rest the mind. So when you rest the mind, and then time is resting, past is going to rest, future is rest. So you can, stress is rest, and doubt is rest, nothing, it's complete, everything rest. It's a very interesting moment. When the time is rest, then it's just really, it's an amazing experience you will come. So once you rest the mind, and we will get clarity. It's incredible clarity, wisdom, incredible, incredible peace. So there's no intellectually kind of reasoning, just spontaneously. It's just incredible. To get that rest in the mind, you can't rest the mind intellectually. So you have to rest the mind through method. Only apply the method only, skills. That's why we introduced tonight one method. There's 100th method, but I introduced one method we call rest the body, rest the energy. So rest the body, rest the energy, then you can rest the mind. Otherwise, quite difficult. We try to rest mind, telling the mind to rest is quite difficult. So because still you're not resting the mind, still still you're thinking, you're not resting, isn't it? And therefore, if you rest the body, very comfortable. Sometimes they call meditation postures. In Dzogchen meditation posture, you don't need to cross leg, you just sit very comfortable, like what you're sitting. In certain Buddhism, we have to put a lotus posture, and some people are not so comfortable. So here I'm trying to tell you it's quite comfortable. So I think look like 2,500 years ago they discovered in the West, bring the Dzogchen meditation, we need to do not lotus postures, make it simple as possible. So that's why we have a very easy way like what you do. Like we can all sit on the front of the computer desk, in front of the steering in the car, wherever, in front of televisions, you can sit like that, isn't it? So that's a very simple posture, sit like that, and then very straight. And then hands are not to be touch together, hands should be separate because hands together increase the thought. So that's why hands are apart and then decrease the thought. That's it. And you sit body like a Mount Everest, very stable, very stable and very grounded. Body is very stable, very comfortable, like a Mount Everest, very, very, stable, dignity, unshaking. So that's where you sit, the body postures, yeah? And then you open eyes, now close, and this you open eyes. Whatever you see, fine, you can see, but you don't need to follow. Whatever you can hear, let come, let go. A lot of thoughts will come, let go. You can't block them. So the meditation postures like this. So comfortable you sit. Then same time, rest the energy, the breathing. Most meditation, breathing from the nostril. Here we never breathe from the nostril, breathe from the mouth. That can help, that can bring benefit if you bring the breathe from the nostril. Increase the thought, increase the stress. So if you breathe from the mouth, decrease the stress, decrease the thought by itself. It's a quite very simple but very powerful. Very simple method, but it's incredible power. So then you breathe from the mouth, slow, not fast, not short. It's a slow breathing. We call slow breathing long life, short breath. It's a short life. If you want to live long, use slow breathing. It's good from the mouth. But please, you don't open too much, otherwise fly can enter and you may be choked. So then that could be another disaster. So you better kind of open. You can at least pass the air. So you can breathe very gently and slowly in and out. So once you breathe in, breathe out. So this is very important moment now. People must more focus. When you breathe in, we call life. When you breathe out, we call death. Isn't it? Because once you have the lung, air in the lung, we call life. Once there's no air in the lung, we call death. So breathe in is a lung, breathe out is a death. But both of them, we call it's a tulva, it's illusions. So what is the best, not the best, what is the really, the pure, the perfect point is that before you breathe in, once you breathe out, and breathe in, you hold the breath. You hold the breath. Breathe in, breathe out. So before you breathe in, you hold the breath. Few seconds. So the moment of that, before you breathe in, the gap is very important. Within that gap, and your mind naturally rests. You don't need to think about it. You have no choice. Mind will be definitely is going to rest. So that moment is the important gap. So that gap is, we call, within that gap, then you can get, mind get rest, and then definitely everything, time is rest. And there's nothing, everything, time, stress, worry, doubt, fear, hope, everything is. And what is there? Continually peace. And that is, but we can't hold too long because we are part of human realm, we have to breathe in. Don't forget that. You have to breathe in. So we are part of human realm, again you need to breathe in, but don't hold too long. But you can do like a few seconds, hold the breath, you get experience. So, but you don't need to analyze or examine your mind, say, am I resting the mind? That means you are not resting the mind, you are still distracted. Yeah? So in the moment of when you say, am I resting, means you are not resting. So you just follow the method and totally do nothing. So just follow, rest the body, rest the energy, hold the breath for a few seconds. In that moment you're resting the mind. Naturally, spontaneously, there's no reason. But if you started analyzing, examining, then you will get distracted again. So that is not good. But that is just one simple flavor of the Dzogchen view, So you can get this taste, and then you can experience yourself. You can go through again and again. You can do it many times possible, but not too long. We call Dzogchen meditation is short and clear, but not too long and sleepy. So we need to very fresh. So therefore, I think Australia, you got a nice view, lot of wonderful beach, nice view, isn't it? So you can sit in front of this nice view, blue sky, you can do a little bit of meditation and breathing exercise. You can rest the body, rest energy, and then you can rest the mind. Resting mind is very, very, very powerful. That is one of the most powerful power of the mind, ultimate power of the mind, resting mind. Once you rest the mind, then you got the ultimate power of the mind, not the relative power of the mind. This is the real powers. So that can bring the clarity, the peace, and within that you can make any decision. It makes a perfect decision. You can make it. So you can do many things. I think by resting you can cook. You never burn the food. You rest the mind. You drive. You never get accident. You rest the mind. You talk to them. You never missing any points. You rest the mind. You listen. You can hear everything. Otherwise, sometimes we talk, but you never listen. You listen half of the language, and half of you listen yourself. You listen your own mind. You don't listen to somebody talking. That's why we have a lot of error to communication. Because you are not at rest. You say, you just, half, so now you just try to, assuming and guessing, you just put it on the top. Sometimes we have a GPS, you put the address. I hate this. Sometimes you try to put address, they auto-complete. They help you to do. I said, I'm not doing that. I have to do myself. Too many. So sometimes our mind is a little bit like that. We keep trying. Or your mind is to make you to answer for you. So therefore, it's important we need a more patient to listen. And if you rest the mind to listen, you can hear everything. You can hear complete. So then you are not going to miss anything. And also the holidays. People go to holiday, isn't it? In Europe, in Australia, so people are going to holidays. People go to holidays, having fun, and you spend lots of money, or you work hard, and you won't have a fun. But if you know there is a mind, sometimes holiday become a little bit disaster, isn't it? Because emotions and stress and tics and families and yelling at each other. You get to such a beautiful place and you spend so much money, but you say, what are we doing here? So if you rest the mind, you can make it much better. You can enjoy this beautiful moment. You spend a lot of money, you spend good timing, plus you can enjoy. You can understand. Kids can enjoy, parents can enjoy. Why not? Isn't it? But then every day could be a holiday in your home. You rest the mind, you can see more better, not reacting. You can enjoy every moment. For example, like when you're having breakfast, sometimes you're not resting the mind and you can having breakfast. While you're eating breakfast, you're worried about the lunch. So you can't taste your breakfast. And when you're having lunch, you're worried about the dinner. So that's how mind is crazy. Keep on going to the future and worry in the past and everything. When you have lunch, what I had the breakfast, you go back to, you forgot the breakfast. So in that moment, it's important to you, when you're even having breakfast, you enjoy the breakfast. Just enjoy. This present moment is very important. Enjoy. And when you're having lunch, you can enjoy lunch. So don't go to the dinner. So then you can enjoy. That's why every day is actually a precious moment. So we must enjoy every moment of life. Life is short. We need to enjoy. I think there's no lagging in your country. You've got a wonderful land, very small population, people, no pollutions. You have good structures. I think you can really enjoy. People like me come from India. It's like billions of people live in such compact, everywhere pollutions and there's no structures, chaos, but still they are very happy. So in that case, I think it's important to enjoy. I think it's to recognize the great opportunities what you have, and I think you must not miss the opportunity to enjoy. So in that case, you can. The method 1, compassion, loving, care is very good for you if you do it. Method 2, resting the mind, is very, very, very practical for every levels. I will say the Dzogchen method is an antidote for all problems. There's so many antidotes, so many problems, but the Dzogchen is one antidote for all the problems. So it means all the problem has to come from the mind anyway. So if you really kind of make a good shape of your mind. So then it's everything complete. You know what I mean? Anyway, I won't keep too long. So I think what is the real purpose of your life is everybody carrying the great potential of life. I think this is very precious life, what we're having it. So I think it's important to recognize, and we must see the value and not devalue yourself, you know. And then also to get great potentials, enlightenment, peace, happiness is within yourself. You can't expect it someone make you happy. That's not the truth. That's not true. You can make your happiness only. No one can make you happy. Some can make you happy, but not all the time. You know? So the great potential is what we have, is this great power, rest of mind. You see, you can change your life. Practice compassion, loving kindness, you can see immediately you can be a good, within a community you can kind of interact much easier. You know? So therefore you can achieve better. That's why the Bodhisattvas are very, I think I will say Bodhisattvas, they are very selfish, I said. Usually they are not selfish in Buddhism. I said they got the selfish wisdoms. The selfish wisdom, Bodhisattvas. They got the selfish wisdoms. Yeah. We are selfish, but we don't have the wisdoms. We don't have that selfish wisdoms. But we got the selfish idea, but we got that not come from the wisdom, it's come from ignorance. You know? The selfish come from the ignorance, it's going to be trouble for us. The selfish come from the wisdom, it's giving us a great support. So if you want to be best selfish, better to follow the wisdom. The selfish come from the wisdom, it's the challenge, it's a winner. All right, I will stop here. Thank you very much to invite me, Toki, city coordinator Mark, and also Champagne team. I think I've done many years talk in Toki. It's continually, it's quite very inspiring me to come back. So, at the same time, I'd like to say thank you, and also some information what we're doing it last night. Not last night, is it? No, day before yesterday. Day before yesterday, I did a public talk in Melbourne, so now we're in Toki. So then I'm going to Adelaide, there will be some public talk and some 5-day seminars, and Alice Spring also one public talk. And every year I go to Uluru. Uluru is my pilgrimage. Every time I come to Australia, because indigenous, this history, it's incredible for me. And then we go to Queensland. We have this also, I think, where was it? Maroochydore, we have public talk, and we have Gold Coast. We have a retreat for 5 days, isn't it? Gold Coast, I think so. I don't know the exact place. And Sydney, we have also public talk, and then coming back to Melbourne. Here, we have a national retreat, 7 days, somewhere near Victoria. So this program for here, and then also we have a local study and practice. Here, I think near Geelong, good people are doing study and practice weekly, and also different groups from Melbourne and Geelong, and also Sydney, and some small group in Queensland also. So we are supporting them, studying practice program, continually giving them. So we are doing also once a year in India, so 10 days social monastery retreat for all international in December, January every year. So these are the just informations. If you like to learn more deeper in this lineage, please welcome. You can join them, you can learn, you can explore whatever the view, you can come in and see how it works. So it's not too far for enlightenment for you, if you want to reach there. So you have a different choice, a different method. So this is just information for you. So at the same time, I'd like to say thank you very much for inviting me to Toki, and please read the list of the joint effort, everybody good support. So please read, and I'd like to give them, traditionally give them thanking Kada is the Tibetan culture. Thank you and good night.